depending on his age. That's what the Apostle Paul's saying. We're all at different levels. God talks to us in different ways. How does that look? Let me give you an example. If you're new to the things of God, let's say this. You may have been saved for a long time, but you're new in your interaction with God. What I mean is, you can hang out in church for 20 years. And I'm not putting anybody down. I promise you I'm not. But there are people who walk through this door, the doors of this church. They've been in church their whole lives, and they've never had a conversation with God. And when we tell them, you can talk to God and he will talk to you, they look at you like, what? And all of a sudden it starts to happen because of an environment like this. And they start saying things like, Pastor, it works. I talked to God and he talked back. See, Christians, new believers, new in this relationship with God, they have a language that they use. The language goes along the lines of, God told me this, and God told me that, and God told me this, and God told me that, and God told me to do this, and God told me to do that, and God told me to do this, and God told me to do that, and they just do that all day long. And a lot of older believers look at them and think, oh, isn't that cute? They think God's talking to them like that. I remember when I used to think like that. No, the truth is God probably is talking to them like that. Maybe they're sitting there and they're sitting in a service and they say, well, God spoke to me and told me to give $50 in the offering, and I've only got $100. And I had this conversation with God, and I said, God, this isn't right, because I gave the 10%, like Barbara said, and I threw in a little tip on the side, and, I've already done my thing, and then now you're saying give an extra $50, and then God said, yeah, it's me, try me in this, and I said, well, God, and, so Pastor, I gave the $50, and you won't guess what happened the next day, and they never take breaths, you know what I'm saying? The next day I went to work, and the mailman came from the corporate mail, and a letter had fallen down between the slots in the mail thing, and he was really embarrassed, and he said, we lost this. It was sitting there for 6 months, and we finally moved the thing, and out came that, and we gave you your envelope, and there's $100 in it, Pastor. That's close to how it happens. There was $100 in there, and I gave 50 on the day before, and I got 100. This is so cool. What is that like? It's like a young, developing family. And God's saying, listen, it's kind of like you as a parent on the edge of the pool. Your children have not learned to swim yet. And you're not trying to trick them. You're not trying to belittle them. You're just saying, trust me. Jump into the pool. I will grab you. Yeah. And so when God's interacting with us at that level, he's trying to teach us some things. And he's trying to encourage us and bring us along. Yesterday, let me give you an example of this. A few days ago, I was sitting at Starbucks. And I was sitting there and I was staring out the window, and guess what? It was raining. So I'm staring at the clouds, watching it rain. And I'm thinking about this message. And this would have been probably on Thursday or Wednesday. And I hadn't really came to the direction I was going to go with the message yet. I was kind of, a little bit, man, I just don't know, because really, I could take the message at a certain point and I could head off in this direction with it. Or it was real easy, I could go in this direction with it. Now, I know it's important where the message ends up. So I'm standing there at that moment, I'm sitting there looking out the window, and I said to God, I don't know if I should go this way with the message, or if I should go this way with the message. God, what do you, give me some direction. What do you think? What if I go this way with it? And I promise you, this is exactly what I felt. It was as if God said to me, if you go this direction, then you should use this verse and tell this story. And then he said, if you go this direction, then I would use this verse, and then tell that story and use that application. You know what? It became very clear to me he didn't care which way I went with the message. You know what I took that? I took that as this week, next week. So you're going to get it either way. So are you saying, Pastor, it really doesn't matter where I go with my life? Are you kind of like saying that you just choose your path and God's following behind you like, like, I don't want to be little God, but, kind of like a little puppy, I mean, he's just kind of like there. He's kind of like your advisor. You just kind of choose your own way, and he's just going to oblige to follow, and then every once in a while you need directions. You go, okay, which way should I go? And he goes, well, I don't know. You just guess, whatever. Is that what we're saying? That he doesn't really care which way we go? No, that's not what I'm saying. There is a way that we can find the direction of God for our lives.